Hey, Miranda, I'm on.
Miranda, hi, Karen, you're muted.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Good.
Ready for spring break somewhere.
Ah, what is that? What is spring break?
Yeah.
Just so you know, Miranda is hosting, but she's also on the road. She's doing some errands for town, so she
Good.
won't be able to
Hi,
participate.
Tom.
Um, Karen, just so you know, if you don't mind sharing and editing like you did in the last meeting today, that would be
There's a,
great.
did you guys hear about the shooter at King
Shooting
Supers
King
in Boulder
Supers and
at
Table
Table
Mesa.
Mesa?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
What's going on? Or is it still active?
yeah, 6 people are dead.
That's,
They apprehended one shooter. They think there might be more.
uh-huh.
My daughter lives right across the street. She's okay. My
Oh,
We used to
thank
ex-husband
live
goodness.
lives.
right around the corner on Carlock Street. That was our
Lots,
store.
lots of helicopters, police cars.
Whoa, boy.
I know.
Karen, was that all taking place out in the parking lot? It sounds like it started there. Did it go into the store?
I thought it was in the store,
Okay.
but I may be wrong about that.
Yeah, I just have been getting dribs and drabs through
Mm,
different media outlets.
mm.
It sounded like
Either
maybe
you, when did it start?
like 2 o'clock-ish.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, Lee's office is in that shopping center.
Mm, mm.
Wow. Boy, I never expected that.
Mm.
Is let's see, so Jill is not going to join us today?
Uh, she's she's on vacation. She said she might, but not to wait for her.
Where'd she end up going?
St. Croix.
Oh,
in
far
the
from here.
US Virgin Islands.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's staying at her sister's place, and it's right on the beach. We had a
Wow.
meeting with her this morning at 8:30.
Is her sister retired, or is she in the same line of business that Jill is?
Don't know.
Wow. I'd like that. I'd like a job like that.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. Karen, what do you know since we talked last? Thanks for the emails.
Sure. So I'd like to see if we can kind of wrap up the goals and objectives during
Good.
this meeting.
That's
And
what Miranda
then,
tasked us with.
yeah, and then hand that off to the Sustainability Advisory Board
Great.
so they could review it before the Board of Trustees takes a look at it.
Good.
So, and
Um,
next Monday,
Go ahead.
yeah, next Monday we have the new building code presentation
Okay.
at our meeting, and then we'll like finalize, make any changes that the SAB has requested.
What do we know about the new building code? Where did it come from?
This
There
is-
was an administrative committee that put that together, and that included me and Miranda and Cynthia and Rick Henriksen from the fire department and Chris Pelletier. And we already made some presentations, and we've had our public charrettes and just vetting it with the public right now. Mainly, I mean, the bottom line is we've got 2012 versions that were adopted, and now we're looking at updating it to 2018. And it is typical for communities to run behind, 2021 codes are just being presented and analyzed now by some communities. So we're just in the process of having this conversation. And as I said, there's an administrative committee that's been working on it, and public charrettes and presentations to the Board of Trustees, and going now to the other boards and commissions as well.
That's great. That's great.
So,
Hi, Garrett.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Good.
considering the shooter. Okay, so I will share my screen so we can go over that document.
Thanks.
Okay, let me. Okay, there it is. So the first goal and objectives are related to climate. And I had some bullets in there about the town infrastructure and facilities and regulations and operations. But Garrett suggested that I take those out, and I like it the way it is, that it was a little specific there.
Okay. Garrett, what's your thinking?
Yeah, I just thought we were getting a little in the weeds, and if we were going to bring up those items, there's a whole slew of other things we could bring up too. So if we just stay high level, it would just keep it nice and concise.
Great. Excellent. Okay, I think you're right.
So the ecological goal has to do with forest, with wildlife, with repair streams and wildfire. So all of that environmental, physical environmental things.
Terrific. Question on a couple of these. What are we using now for herbicides and pesticides on the town's land, and is there a law in place, and what does the town use?
So, yeah, there's a plan. I think I have it down here somewhere.
Mhm.
It does
Netherland,
live on our website, just FYI.
Okay. Okay, good.
Netherland noxious weed program. So it's
Yep.
right there.
We've got that brochure on our refrigerator.
So the town makes their best effort not to use synthetic herbicides and pesticides, but they don't roll those out. And so
Understood.
it would be nice if we didn't allow any within the town. So
Mhm.
that would be ideal.
Does when we're done, will we be largely in line with the rest of Boulder County, or does this go further?
Well, I know the Forest Service uses synthetic herbicides and pesticides too.
Okay.
You know, I don't on my own property, and I think we can control noxious weeds without doing that. And
Good.
but I don't know what it'll take to get there.
Okay.
Kurt, do you have any sense about that?
About herbicides and pesticides and stuff like that.
Yeah. How
I-
difficult is it to eliminate in a
I-
municipality?
I don't know of any municipality that has implemented any sort of ordinance about that. I think it might. I know when I worked in Lyons, it was a volunteer education, and we didn't have any ordinance. I mean, the town of Lyons, I know we did spray pesticides because the cost of not doing so was just so high. So, I don't know if we have much teeth in that.
Okay.
So is that an unrealistic 10-year objective to eliminate? I think we had reduced there before, but we suggested it be a little stronger.
Yeah, but about the only thing I can think of is to put wherever possible, eliminate.
Yeah.
Reduce or eliminate wherever possible.
Honestly, the ProSab has done so much work on this. I would consult them.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay, and then on the riparian wetlands, I presume this has Jill's footprint on it, right? Was this one that came from Jill?
no, I put it in there.
Okay, tell me more what you have in mind. I mean, we're not going to put it into the necessarily in at this level, but tell me some of the things you have in mind.
Reducing toxic runoff,
Uh-huh.
ensuring there is water for the habitat and that it's healthy.
Yeah.
And doing wildfire mitigation to reduce the risk of wildfires along in riparian habitats.
Okay, and then I haven't. I presume the riparian habitats are already on a map somewhere. Where in Netherlands? Where are they right now?
There is a Boulder County map that shows a band around the reservoir and a swath along the creek going into the reservoir and out of the reservoir.
That makes sense.
Yeah. There is on Parks and Rec, we do have a project listed for Envision 2030 to map out all of those locations.
Terrific.
Mhm.
That I'd like to see when you've got it.
Yeah.
I would. Are there others? Is your focus strictly in town limits? Or are you going to the lakes up towards Eldora too?
Towards Eldora, greater Netherland area.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking it might belong in this group more, but I think since what, May brought it up, we put it in the Parks and Rec, so,
Yeah, as long as we don't forget it.
yeah.
Okay. I've seen Wildfire Partners signs around. Who are they? And how do they work with mitigation? I've never come across them other than their signs.
So they work with homeowners, property owners to do mitigation.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of programs here.
What's their relationship with Netherland? Are they private sector people who work directly with homeowners, or?
It's a Boulder County program.
Got it.
Yeah. Currently funded by a 1.2 million grant from FEMA
Terrific. Okay,
and Boulder County government.
good. Let's leave. Yeah, that's a good one. Let's leave that in there.
Okay.
Boy, that was an interesting map. Okay. So all still under ecological. We're getting the vegetation, native vegetation. We're getting into the herbicides, pesticides.
And Jill,
Yeah.
Jill requested an education objective under each one of these goals. So the last bullet is based on her
Good.
request.
What about the third one? I'm curious about that.
Preserve,
What do we mean?
preserve and restore healthy ecosystems.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that, touches on a lot of different things. It touches on plant life and wildlife, water, soil. So I suppose maybe we can look at, on a small case, the Barker Meadows Park,
Yeah.
which needs some restoration. I mean, we had a sludge pond in there.
Yeah.
That's been removed and soil's been brought in, and is that soil healthy? What type of, we need some cover on the soil, some plants. So
do we so when you're on goal number 3, you're talking about on both public and private land, right?
preserve and restore healthy ecosystems. Sure. Yeah.
Good. Okay. Do we need, Garrett, anything more on before in ecological health before we move on?
No, I reviewed this over the weekend and provided some comments, and Karen and I have been going back and forth. So, yeah, I'm pretty good.
Excellent. Okay. On to the economy. And I'll take this to our group, which works with economic development. I don't see it. There's nothing here and nothing at all in conflict, which is good. Okay, so green industry, clean jobs, support local businesses to attract and expand. Do we have any local businesses now that you would call are in the green industry or clean tech?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe Karen knows. Garrity.
Can you ask that question again, Tom? I didn't quite catch it all.
Economic goal number 1. I'm just wondering if if we're starting from a current base of any local businesses that are you would call clean tech or in the green industry.
I don't know that offhand. Garrett, is that something that the Sustainability Advisory Board's been talking about?
We've talked about Boulder County's Partners for a Clean Environment, PACE. They have a whole recognition program, and we've talked about it in the past. And in fact, PACE, their consultant attended the DDA's January meeting. So, that group is aware of their services, but really there hasn't been much traction. and Pace is really good. You know, they'll come in and do an audit to help restaurants and businesses save money on lighting and HVAC and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
we have definitely some opportunity there for improvement.
And Garrett,
Yeah,
when we were advertising to the businesses, some of the programs that Excel had going on, incentives and stuff, is that what you're talking about?
That is separate.
Yeah, because
But
I
yeah,
didn't
I
feel
mean,
like we got much traction with those either.
yeah, I mean, there is our Excel rebates. There's the Boulder County rebates.
Mhm.
I am sort of a liaison when it comes to this stuff with the DDA. I have a point of contact that I've been and to be frank, I haven't heard much from them. So I think it's something that would be nice to do. But don't get me wrong, they are taking advantage of Boulder County PACE service offerings. I mean, I can't tell you specifically what's happening, but I know when I talk to them, they're like, "Oh yeah, we're working with Kathmandu on some of their, new stuff and that sort of thing." So there are pockets, but I don't think it's generally been widely accepted.
okay. I see in the comments, Garrett, you talk about support building electrification while moving away from natural gas. Where does where do we stand in Boulder County right now on natural gas? Are we moving towards um, phasing out gas hookups in the future?
That's a great question, Tom. I can talk with my Dave Hachimoji, who's the Boulder County rep.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what Boulder County. I mean, there's a moratorium on natural gas wells, right?
right.
But I don't
But
know
there's,
what policies that they're thinking about trying to pass or anything like that.
yeah, I heard a NPR thing where they're talking about gas bans around the country, and they mentioned the city of Boulder is having an active contingent moving towards that. And this is clearly within our 10-year time purview.
Yep.
So I think we should probably get the facts on that.
Yeah. I'll get back to you. I'll talk with the county to see if they have any plans and
Mhm.
make sure that at the very least we're lined up with Boulder County because I know the Board of Trustees have talked about this.
Right.
So, I think it's something that we need to keep a pulse on.
Yeah, we'd be moving in a radically different path from Gilpin. Um, that's aggressive, that's laying the gas piping. Um, but boy, yeah, that's something we really should be clear on, given the time frame, because 2030 could look very different than it does right now. And if that's the case, then we need to get schooled on electrification techniques such as heat pumps and things like that.
It's very much Boulder County or the city of Boulder is looking at electrifying one section of town. It's more of an
Mhm.
industrial area of Boulder. So there is sort of this study happening to see what sort of loads would be required in that sort of they're calling it like a district, like a clean district. So I don't know how close we are to actually banning it because I
Mhm.
think there's a lot of unknowns still.
There are. Okay. Is the district like 47th Street, that little light industrial in Boulder?
I think so. I'm not quite
Yeah.
sure.
Okay. Um,
So,
go
so
ahead,
Garrett,
Karen.
yeah, Garrett, so are you okay with my resolution on your comment here?
I would disagree. But Garrett, you answered. I think it's not explicit enough given the time frame. But what do you think, Garrett? It was addressed to you. Sorry to jump in.
Um, yeah, I mean, I think we should pose this as this is our recommendations, and the board could take it however they would like. I think our
Good point.
recommendation is that yeah, we move away from natural gas, and if the board doesn't want to do that, then we can make that change to make it more generic.
All right,
Okay.
let's see. Foster building practices that encourage energy and water efficiency while supporting building electrification and moving away from natural gas. How about that? Well,
I guarantee you'll get a response.
Yeah.
supporting building.
Electrification.
Yeah, there's somehow I'm getting a delay on it. Building, oh. Electrification. Vacation while moving away from natural gas. Encourage energy, okay.
We don't have, I'm curious, I know we still, a lot of people around me still are burning wood. Nobody's heating with heating oil or anything like that, are they, in the town?
Propane.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Electrification.
Yeah, that's close.
I think we're going to have the same struggle that we have with an analogous struggle that we have with converting to 100% renewable electrical energy, in that you're asking people to replace their gas heating system.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, we would start with any new building. That's where we would start.
Okay.
Just getting new buildings, and then when the whole switching from natural gas to electricity, that's a whole different can of worms.
Yeah, and nobody's attempting to do that yet.
So-
I talked with somebody in New York City that's doing this in in Brooklyn with really old buildings, and it's a pretty heavy lift to take 120-year-old buildings and retrofit them and make them.
Right.
So
Yeah, to make it cost effective. Yeah.
So for
Karen?
the first bullet, I did achieve 100% renewable electric energy by 2030. And I know we don't have like a plan in place right now to do that. But I did put down here, let's see, create a plan to achieve 100% renewable electric energy based on the plan that we have to get it done by 2025.
Good.
So
Okay, that's our base.
I don't, maybe we talked about a community solar garden.
Yeah.
And maybe putting panels in where the old town shop is, or panels on town-owned property buildings. But it seems like we should try and get there by 2030.
Yeah, I'm impressed that we've got 38. You said 38% is where we're at right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they're at.
Yes, I can't name you what percentage of that is part of just Excel's portfolio.
Right.
I think they're around like maybe 22%.
Okay.
So now town operations, that's 100% renewable, because there was a solar farm put in South Denver somewhere, and so we're subscribed to that.
Okay, got it. Yeah, 38% is a really nice jump. Does Excel have the options to take us all the way, or are we gonna have to do something way outside of Excel's purview to get to where we want to get to in 10 years?
Yeah, we're gonna have to do something interesting. Excel goals, essentially 2030, they're shooting for 62% renewable energy.
Right. Yeah.
But that goal also contains 85% decarbonization from 2005 levels.
Right.
So they're planning on some carbon sequestration type things to lower their carbon footprint.
And they think they can do that in the time frame I mean, those technologies are just brand new and pretty much unproven. So Excel actually put that into their plan, their integrated resource plan.
That is in their resource plan. Yeah, so we just have
Wow.
to figure out how to get from 62 to 100.
Hmm.
So, I have, I get my electricity from solar. I have solar
Mhm.
panels, and I have a neighbor across the street that has quite a few solar panels. So we have
Not today.
some residents that are doing that. Um,
How, yeah, is Excel gets the screws put, no, actually put to them by themselves in this case, because they have to comply with their plan. Um, I would presume they're going to be offering some more aggressive programs for residential solar to get us to pick up the slack too. I would is that accurate, Garrett?
We had a conversation with Excel last week. There is a what is it called? I'm not subscribed to it, but I know Melody Baumhover is. There
Hmm.
is, I think it's Renewable Connect.
Yeah.
That program was a good deal. It was cheaper and you could subscribe to solar. However, this like Renewable Connect 2.0, there's a premium. So anytime you
Mm.
put a premium on it, you're not going to get the adoption. Middle low income families are not going to want to pay more for energy. So it doesn't look good right now from the conversations I've had in the last 2 weeks.
Right.
So I'm not sure. I think our best bet is if there is town property for a community solar garden, that would
Yeah.
be an attractive thing. They
Yeah.
are, but you're also competing against everybody else wanting to build solar gardens too. So it's a very difficult application process to actually get done.
Are you talking about working it through Excel or through other capital sources?
No, going through Excel's solar rewards program
Yeah.
where they
Yeah.
they've got like a 2 megawatts or something like that they allow folks to build community solar gardens to add to their portfolio.
Okay.
But
In my
just so you guys know,
Well,
we're doing a residential solar program. It's called Solarize Netherland.
yeah.
And so this is our attempt to get as many people signed up for rooftop solar as possible.
Yeah.
We just selected a solar installer last week. Their name is Custom Solar out of Boulder,
Hmm.
and so we'll have plenty of more information. And really, this is it's a good. Basically, the more people that sign up, the cheaper it is for everyone. So
Yeah.
for residences and businesses.
This is this conversation, but put me on that list. We're we're in a construction project right now, and I'd like to hear more about that offline.
Great, I'll send you an email, Tom.
Thanks. Okay. Oh, back to the 100% goal. Because we do this for corporates all the time. It seems like, 62, we're starting from a very good base. Getting to 62%, the technologies usually, 62, 65 is pretty straightforward. But we find that the last 20% is really tough. In some cases, it involves technologies and pathways that aren't developed yet. Do we believe that we can get there? Do we, that's a
Well,
aggressive thing to say. Do we have a path?
well, Tom, we have this document that I haven't read in its
Hmm.
entirety, and
Hmm.
it's like an implementation strategy to get 100% renewable energy by 2025. So, Garrett,
Yeah.
have you looked at that plan?
If that's
And
the one that was done by CU, yes, I've
yeah,
looked at that. Yep.
yeah. So, are there strategies in there that we're not doing, or
Yeah, I vetted it with folks that are on the SAB, like Erica and Melody. I've talked with Alan. There was another trustee at the meeting where I proposed the various strategies that we should, embark on. And there wasn't a clear-cut answer on how we get there. I'll be
Okay.
honest. There
Okay.
are some strategies in there, and I encourage you to take a look, but
Were they strategies that would work when this document was written and now they're not valid any longer, or
No, there are, I mean, like one of the strategies was like a carbon offsetting program.
Mhm.
Mhm.
You know, that's like not necessarily like our 100% renewable energy goal is that's not like energy we're creating, you know, we're essentially just buying carbon offsets, which, you know, it's not quite adding renewable energy to the grid. And
Yeah.
a lot of them is just a community garden, you know, like a lot of them are just very expensive. Energy efficiency was a major strategy. It's like, well, we're trying to do energy efficiency, but again, um it takes a while in order to reduce everybody's energy demand so that we're only using renewable energy.
That's true.
So my other
Yeah.
thought along these lines are maybe it's not important to get 100%. No.
Well, I think
Maybe it
what we should be talking about is the cost of energy. Because low income energy is just going to go up. You know, Excel's coal plants are going to become more and more expensive to maintain, especially when renewable energy hits the grid. So the folks that are still relying on that source of energy are going to be paying a premium.
Yeah.
So that's my concern is how energy rates are going to continue to go up. If you can't afford rooftop solar, which is going to be very cheap when you compare it to what's on the grid, then you're going to be paying a lot of money. So that's why I'm concerned about our energy portfolio.
Is the town?
Is the town concerned?
No, I said as a town. Or when you
Yes.
say portfolio, which portfolio?
As the town's portfolio.
So
Okay, gotcha.
we do have an objective in here. I mean, it doesn't say how we solve that problem, but it's under energy and buildings goal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6th objective: support lower income populations with subsidies for energy and water efficiencies and renewable energy.
I love
That's
it.
a worthwhile goal.
I love it. That's
Yeah, I'd leave it in there.
great.
So should we leave in the 100% as just,
For now, I think we should.
Yes,
Maybe-
because there's been so much push. Yes,
Okay.
for sure.
and leave that
And
word
also because the town passed that resolution, so
okay.
you'd be in
Okay.
alignment with that.
Okay. All right. Anything else on the energy and building?
Let me look at one last time before we go past it.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. I'm good. Garrett?
Yep.
Okay.
Local
Were you really
food-
working on this at 6 in the morning on Saturday, Garrett?
Probably. It's
He said he enjoyed reading it. It's like a novel for
it
him.
gets me out of bed.
How that's true.
That's great.
So local food and agriculture.
Okay. Support local food production, encourage sustainable agricultural practice on public. Do we do any of this right now?
We have community food gardens.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
I think we do support private food gardens. We have a seed bank, and there's some education programs through Victory Gardens.
Yeah.
Regenerative agricultural practices, not disturbing the soil, not using toxic chemicals, having a cover on the soil. We do use some of those. We do that. Increase accessibility of local food for vulnerable populations. Yes, we do that through the
Food pantry.
food pantry and community gardens. Offer education and outreach. We're not doing, as far as I know, we're not nurturing relationships among local producers, distributors, and potential buyers. Although we do have farmers market.
Yeah, and there is a lot of collaboration that goes on there. I just don't know, beyond manufacture things like jellies and stuff. I don't know, looking at you can identify the barriers to local food production by looking out your window. This is a harsh place to grow anything.
Yeah, we had that discussion last week, and Billy felt pretty strong. Billy gave quite a few examples of
Okay.
Agriculture and chickens, and I have raised beds with hoop houses, and
Yeah.
this will be my third year, the first year for the hoop houses. But last year I had a pretty good crop. So
What'd you grow?
I grew a lot of root vegetables and leafy greens.
Excellent. Okay, I haven't looked inside the others. Is that pretty typical for this region?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
yeah. You can do. There's quite a few people that have greenhouses and.
I see them all over.
Mhm.
Yeah, so yeah, this is well thought out, Karen. I don't see anything I feel like changing.
Okay. Transportation goal.
Okay. Yep, you did weave an education goal into everything. That's good. Alternative and multimodal transportation. How would we do this? I think we do it in a way by just having a bus with a bike rack.
Promote and support alternative and multimodal transportation.
Yeah.
So alternative would be buses, carpooling, shuttles.
Yeah, and
Bikes,
I think we're
walking.
pretty far along. The Hesse Trail bus. We've got a lot of options in this town, and that's one reason I came here.
Right.
Go ahead.
And we're doing sidewalk improvements, which will help with the getting around. The multimodal people park at the park and ride, and then take the bus from there. And you can actually put a bike on the bus, so you could get, you could drive your car, take the bus, hop on your bike. So that would be the multimodal part of it.
Good. Now you're on the Parks Committee, right, Karen?
Yeah.
Are you dealing with? I'm sure you must. But are you dealing with trails, an extension of the existing trail system? So that's being covered. Good.
Yep.
I just those are the ones we've got are so nice. I hope to have more.
And I think partnering with the county on these multimodal transportation, just because the county has the funds, and it's often a regional issue, not just a local issue, so that's where I see supporting. It's supporting the county and making sure that RTD is doing what they've promised.
That's great.
That makes sense.
After the past year and the shortfalls with RTD, are their budgets being impacted to where they're going to have to pull back on some of these goals that don't involve strictly, or are we facing some service restrictions going forward?
Let's see. So, yeah, right now, we're reduced capacity on the buses because of coronavirus.
Sure.
And they're because of that, their income from tickets is decreased. So
But it's clubbered their budgets.
yeah, I don't know what the situation is there, if they're going to be decreasing. And our route is really well supported when I looked at it compared to other regional routes. Yeah, we have a much higher ridership than the other ones.
Yeah, I missed I used to take the 545 to Boulder. That's gone, but the 730 has our group of regulars on it. I think this is well defined. Garrett, from your standpoint, have we missed anything?
No, I think it looks great.
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree. Move
Move
on.
on to water then.
Mhm.
And Garrett did have a comment here, protecting the watershed. And I
Mhm.
thought we had that covered through the first bullet, protect, improve, and ensure watershed health.
Perfect. I must have missed that.
Okay.
Good. It was early. Okay, understand, prevent contamination of water sources. Who's right now? Excuse me. Who's monitoring water quality?
That's a town. We do that through our water plant.
Great. Okay, excellent.
You're talking about residents and businesses who are using water in town, correct?
That's correct. Yeah. Okay, so employ water conservation methods. What are we advocating here?
Oh, water conservation methods. Um, so vegetation that doesn't require a lot of water.
Okay.
Ideally, no additional water other than what we get naturally.
Got it.
The low flow shower heads,
Mhm.
toilets.
Is
Other
this
water.
making it in? Does anybody know if this is getting into the new building codes?
Yes. Yeah, the energy conservation code addresses water.
Okay, great.
One of the
Could-
things you might want to say in there when you're talking about employ water conservation methods is one of the things the Board of Trustees has been talking about as we're doing the rate study is whether or not there's a way to structure the fees so that for people who do conserve water, you
Yeah.
get, if the more you're using, the higher, you're paying, and not just for the amount of water, but there's basically a discounted rate if you stay within a certain level. And then
Yeah.
once you go beyond that ceiling, then you're going to be paying a significant increase, significant enough to make people think twice about.
Okay. You have my attention.
Yeah, it's a conversation we're having. It hasn't been settled, but there might be a way to have that sort of incentives, through the
Yeah.
utilities fee structure or something along that line.
Yeah, I think if we employ an incentivized water yeah, I think that captures it. I'm wondering if we could collapse that with the next bullet, if really that's not, or shouldn't be on the same line. What do people think?
Employ and employ.
We have the employ and incentivize water conservation methods and support water reuse.
I would keep it separate because the gray
Okay.
water, I mean, if
I
you're
agree.
talking
It's
about,
very different. It's very
Yeah.
different how you can reuse gray water, very limited, of
Mhm.
course, for safety. So I do think
Sure, of course.
it makes sense to keep it separate.
Okay, what are we doing in this space now with gray water? And how extensive is it?
Well, I think that would just be done on a individual homeowner basis, and
Okay.
I mean, you could in a very simple case, you could take a bath and then use that water to water your plants.
Yeah.
So, and there's rain barrels, but that's not really reusing gray water.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're in good shape here.
Okay.
Garrett, you've been over this once. Is there anything you take issue with or think we might
For
be
the
missing?
water.
No, I
Yeah.
think the water section looks good.
Yeah.
Okay. Then zero waste. Okay. I added that as a bullet, implementing policies which supports waste diversion and eliminate single-use plastic. That is the second bullet.
Yeah. I like that. I think if we didn't have that in there, we'd be missing something critical. Okay,
So
increased
what do you
internal
think
town
about,
diversion.
yeah, what do you think about that first bullet? Is that realistic for 2030?
I don't think so personally. What are the, tell me what you're thinking. If you believe it's achievable, walk me through it.
Zero waste, 100% diversion, nothing going to the landfill.
Okay, say I've got a big television that I'm about to get rid of. Is it well, okay? So nothing going to landfill.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think we for a town our size, it's pretty remarkable what Western does for us over at the yards. But think, okay, so theoretically, compostable stuff could be composted.
Garrett, isn't this the case that they're saying zero waste is really unachievable? I mean, everything I'm reading is saying
Yeah.
they're not really using zero waste anymore because it's just not realistic or achievable. I just wanted to throw that in there. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Tom.
But yeah, I've seen some of the same articles that make me, we're hearing a lot about a circular economy, but I don't know that in 10 years we're going to get to something like this.
So reduce, maximize diversion.
I might just say move towards zero waste. I guess the best we can do in the time frame we've got.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there needs to be a lot of work around this to set some achievable goal. I mean, Colorado is so terrible with this on this subject that
How do you think?
it's just kind of laughable to think that we could do 100%.
Mhm.
I mean, we're certainly trying, I mean, even I'm looking at San Francisco and they're at 80%, Portland's at 70, Boulder's at 50. So, I mean, there's things we could do, but it's not going to be 100%.
Okay.
Maybe say 70%, something that it's still going to be difficult and who knows if we'll get there, but at least I think it's something that, what do you think, Garrett? Am I being ridiculous there? I mean, if Boulder's at 50%,
We
Yeah.
can do better.
do you think we could do 75%?
I think I'm looking at Boulder County's goals. I think we need to just align ourselves with what Boulder County's goals are.
Mhm.
So yeah, let me get back to you on that.
Let's leave 75 in for now, and then
Yeah.
we'll review it. What I'm just curious, Garrett, how does Portland end up in such a different place than Boulder?
I don't know. I don't have that large of a background with how Portland's doing it.
Okay. Waste diversion, single-use plastics. I like number 2 a lot, Karen. I think we've got number 1 down. Number 2 is good. Is number 3 duplicative with what we did above?
Increase internal town diversion
Oh
rate.
no, I'm sorry. 4.
Decrease the amount of total waste going to the landfill and reduce overall consumption. We're talking about, well, there's consumption in there as well.
Yeah.
So that would be using less plastic, using less things that we have to throw away.
Explain internal town diversion rate.
That would be town operations and what their
Yeah, we already have a pretty robust process to deal with compost, to encourage compost and recycling and all that. And I know our numbers are pretty good, but doesn't mean we couldn't do better. Garrett,
Okay.
you might have your finger on that pulse better than I do right now. I haven't looked at it lately, but I do know that the town does a good job of diverting recyclables, compost.
Yep, and we have around town facilities essentially, and residential versus commercial. So we're able to separate that information.
Good.
Yeah, I think as far as the town facilities and operations are concerned, I think if we can like make a statement with how sustainable we are environmentally with the town operations and facilities. I mean, I think that's always a good goal. Even the vehicles that we use for the police department and all sorts of things. I think we can, if we can do that.
Yeah.
We've got,
as I count, let's see, how many 3 diversion rate things could these be combined into one?
Okay, implement policies which support. There's policies first.
Yeah.
Increase town diversion rate, decrease the amount of total waste. Okay, this could just be support waste. Okay, increase construction materials diversion. So I guess this might be duplicated. The decrease the amount of total waste going to the landfill.
Yeah, sure seems like it.
Okay, but we can say reduce overall consumption.
Yeah, you have to say it without reduced. Yeah, I don't know how you do it, but you're right. It is something different.
Are you trying to reduce overall consumption of a certain type of material? Or are you saying reduce overall consumption of, I'm not sure exactly, and if it needs to be clarified, like, are you trying to just get people to stop buying so much stuff?
Yeah.
Or do you want to get them to stop buying so much of certain stuff, plastic or?
Well, how often do you need to buy a new cell phone? No, need to buy a new one every 6 months or a year. And then what about packaging? Can you buy in bulk versus, buy a really large bottle of shampoo instead of a small bottle? That kind of thing. Just
Okay, so
maybe there's a better way to say it.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that is in terms of policy.
It doesn't have to be a policy.
Okay.
It could just be a goal that so we can reduce waste by just using less of things. So I don't know, maybe it's not, I'd be fine with taking it out if you don't think it's appropriate.
No, I frankly, I would say let's leave it in, and I know we're gonna get some conversation at the Charettes big time on this. But so
I agree. I do think it's a really good goal. I just think that, there might be a need to sort of define it or get a little bit more clarity around it. But I think it's a great goal. I know it's a goal we have in our life and our family.
And I think up here in the mountains with people's lifestyles, I think they agree with that on not, buying lots of stuff, just, using what you have, and yeah, you don't always need the new glittery.
Let's leave it for now.
Yeah, and it could be, you buy secondhand,
right,
and that is sort of reducing the overall consumption if we look at the whole community and the amount of material resources that they're using. So yeah.
You do have about 3 minutes left, just giving you a time check.
I think we're doing remarkably well, all things considered. We covered a lot of ground.
Unbelievably well. I'm so impressed by you guys. But actually, all the groups are just rocking it.
That's great. You give us a reputation to live up to on Wednesday.
Increase food in your.
It's another one that
Okay.
I'm on.
Okay. So any other comments? Oh, we have a couple down here. Develop a climate action plan. I added that, Garrett.
Thank
So I'm
you.
gonna mark that off. Is there a better word we can use for green? Develop a green brand to draw locals and visitors to support the economy.
What was the conversation around this? I don't know. I don't get the green brand.
Well, I think they were talking kind of planet friendly, a place that we tread lightly on the planet, and yet we still have a really wonderful time and a great, variety of things that you can shop at our retail stores for and, dine in our restaurants and everything. But at the same time, we're treading lightly on the planet. So we're not producing a bunch of waste that's going to the landfill, and we're using compostable, materials at the stores and takeout and whatnot. And I think it is a difficult thing to kind of wrap your brain around and use one word,
Yeah.
So are you talking about sustainable tourism?
Oh, this.
Oh, but it's, I think, local shoppers too, everybody,
Okay. I just saw it to draw locals and visitors. That's why I was like, well, what are they trying to do here? But yeah, I get what you're saying, Karen.
Okay, yeah, this was Jill's idea, and she's like, let's put a brand on the town and have the brand be we're planet friendly, and that will encourage people to.
Yeah, I think I see that when I go into Jill's shop. They've selected some things that they've done that fit this.
Okay, and then the last one I think is about the solar garden. And yes, we I guess what we're proposing here is that we reinvestigate it.
Yeah, I saw your comment. That sounds great.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that reinvestigation.
Cool.
Looks
So
awesome.
I will send this off to the SAB, and then for them to review it, and then we'll attend your meeting.
Yeah, how much time do you need on Thursday?
On Thursday, I don't know. It depends on how many comments there are.
Sure. We'll plan on like 30 minutes. Does that give you enough time to present it?
Yes.
Okay. We'll plan 30. Things always take longer than that.
Okay.
And
And
they'll have the document ahead of the meeting, correct, Garrett?
Yeah, that's what, right, Karen?
Good.
yeah, I will
Yeah,
send
good.
the document out,
Okay,
and they
cool.
can put their comments on this document. I'll make sure everyone has access to comment. They could send their comments to me or wait until the meeting. And then we'll incorporate those comments on Monday and finalize it on Monday.
Great. I just got a text from the city of Boulder to shelter in place.
Yeah,
So it's still
Oh
underway.
my God.
it's crazy.
That's what I told my
Yeah,
daughter.
it sounds like I just was watching it. Sorry, guys, I was multitasking, but I was watching the live video, and a group of the officers were going in and trying to get the guy out. It also might be that a police officer is down as well.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm starting to get texts from all around.
Tom,
even
where
from
are
Boulder.
you? Where are you that you're being asked to shelter in place?
We used to live in Table Mesa, and I think this is a hangover.
Oh, okay. Got
Yeah,
it.
but I work downtown. Right now I'm up here in Ned near the fire department.
I thought so.
Yeah.
It
Nice.
is this a good time for our meeting on Monday, 4 o'clock?
Yeah, this works for me.
Okay. For me
Okay,
too.
I can let Miranda know then that
Thank
you
you.
guys want to meet again on Monday at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, thank you, everyone. Bye.
All right,
All
stay
right.
safe, everybody.
Yeah.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.